You guys, my name is Morgan and welcome back to another video. So I hate having to do videos like this. So some of y'all know Artemis. Artemis is a long-haired dachshund. Stop! Artemis is a long-haired dachshund that I've had for over a year now. She came from Mia and Fuzzy. So Artemis just had her first litter of puppies, and I keep up with her siblings pretty well. I think there's one I don't hear from very often. But I got a text last night from, it was night before last, from a family that had adopted Mia and Fuzzy, and then 6 months, and then a little bit later, about 6 months ago, puppy's 6 months, so they picked him up about 4 months ago. They got another dog from Mia and Cappuccino, Dash and Ace. So I got a text last night, or not last night, night before last, from this lady, and she says, "Hey, do you want Ace back?" And I've heard her and her husband had gotten divorced, and she wasn't sure she could keep both because they were moving, which turns out they could keep both. And I get a text 2 nights ago that says, "Do you want this dog back? Do you want Ace?" I was planning on selling him for $500, and I said, basically, and we do contracts, so you are not allowed to sell our dogs because of our contract. And if you do, we go to small claims court because I have better resources to find the dog a home. I can keep up with the dog, or we keep the dog. And this is because it's safer for the dog to come back to me than go to somebody that I don't know anything about, and I can't keep up with the dog. So I get a text, "Hey, do you want this dog back?" And Ace is over a year old now. But they decided, oh, we're just going to keep the puppy and get rid of the older dog. And I hate when people do that. I hate it because the puppy would be easier to adopt out than a year-old plus dog. But here's the kicker part. The kicker part is they said, he bit my son, or my daughter. He bit my daughter. And I'm like, what? Because none of our dogs have ever been that way. My neighbor has a Rosemary and Fuzzy puppy. And they have like a 3-year-old, and he pulls on his ears, mouth, tail. And Spirit doesn't care one way here nor there. So I'm like, okay, what? That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't really ask anything about it. But I say, okay, we'll work on with it. But it's the day before Halloween. So Halloween was yesterday. So it was the day before that. So it was the 30th. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll come get this dog. And we're trying to figure it out. I'm working. My husband's working. We can't go get him. They want us to meet over an hour away at the airport, which I can't. Artemis just had babies. They're newborn puppies, and Chris is working, so I can't leave him alone with the dogs when he can't watch them because he's working. So I tell them that, and they say, no, none of this will work for us. We can't do the day after. We can't do the day after that. We want him gone tonight. I'm like, you want this dog gone tonight? So I'm like, oh my freaking gosh. So I go get the dog back, and he is skinnier than what he should be, and I am so unhappy with that because Fuzzy, it took him some time to build weight, but after he was a year old, he built weight perfectly. This dog is over a year old, and this skinniness is not from being like having a high metabolism. This skinniness is from not eating and not being fed. So I'm very worried about the other puppy, and I'm working on seeing if I can get the other puppy back. But this dog is so skinny. I'm so unhappy with his care. But I'm like, okay, well, I'll get the dog. We managed to figure out a way between. It's a lot farther than I wanted to drive, but whatever. I need the dog because I'm not happy with their behavior and how they're talking about this dog. So I go get the dog. It's late. It's nasty. It's raining. I can't see at night very well. I'm really struggling to see at night now. So I get the dog. He's very skinny. He starts barking at me. But as soon as I get up there, he starts licking me, and he's happy to see me, and he's just happy. They sent him home with this much food and a ball. That's it. So I'm like, and a shirt, a torn-up shirt. Like, so over a year you've had this dog, and you don't send him home with anything that would make him comfortable, that would make him feel safe. What happened to his puppy blanket that I sent him with? What about a blanket that make him feel more comfortable with you and your kids' scents on it? Well, no. Nobody was upset. The kids weren't upset. She wasn't upset. Just, gave him to me, and that was it. He was barking at me. Now he hasn't made a peep. His nails need to be cut. She said he gets aggressive when his nails are cut, which I haven't tested that theory yet, but I need to cut his nails. But he hasn't made a peep. I took him over to my neighbor's kids, and the little boy, I told him don't get up in his face, but he went and got up in his face. Ace licked him in his mouth, literally in his mouth, and this boy's 3 years old. No aggression problems, didn't bark, didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't do anything, no growling. He was so happy, but even the neighbor said, look how skinny this dog is. And he is so skinny, not to the point where he should be. So I'm like, okay, well, this is all very, very confusing, and none of it makes sense. He's very skittish. He hasn't eaten much because this is a new environment for him. He hasn't been here in over a year. But he's very, very nervous, and you can tell that he's very, very shy, which wasn't how our puppies were. But you can also tell it seems like he got the, and I quote, poo beaten out of him. It looks like he got the poo beaten out of him. But I'm going to get Ace so y'all can meet Ace. All right, everybody, this is Ace. So when I say skinny, I mean this dog is skinnier than I'd be happy with. I know some dogs have high metabolism, but this isn't a metabolism thing. This is him not being fed. These are his nails that need to be cut. He doesn't even care when I touch his feet. So what I think is he wasn't fed, and he started developing problems from not being fed. They sent me videos of him eating, and he was a lot fatter than he is now. So this is from a lack of eating, which really breaks my heart. He's got some sores on his balls, which that's bad. His balls are super duper sore. And he's still trying to stop. He's licking them all the time. He just wants to be laid up on my lap like Rue does. And my heart breaks for this dog because all he wants to do is lick me. That's all he's doing. All he wants to do is lick me and get attention. I'm itching his ear right now. And it's heartbreaking to see how broken this dog is. Because this is not how our dogs left. And this is not how our dogs are supposed to leave. So from this point on, I don't really know what we're going to do. He most likely will be with us for a while, if not forever, because I'm terrified to send this dog to somebody else after he's been through so much. And I need to take him to the vet to get his little sores checked out on his little area. But we'll get that taken care of, and he'll be taken care of. Why is his ear is bleeding all of a sudden? What did you do? What happened? He's got a sore in his ear that I guess I was itching. And I guess I made it bleed. I'm sorry, buddy. That's lovely. I'm sorry, buddy. Stop licking. So I don't know what happened to this dog, but it clearly wasn't good. And usually you can tell if the dog was brought back in good condition. We've never had a dog brought back to us that was in good condition. Usually it's because they don't want the dog anymore. The dog got too old and the puppy phase was over. They said he was too much to handle. This dog has been sleeping this entire time. He hasn't made a peep at all. So I don't know what the truth is about it. I know I can tell you that he needs a lot of help and he needs a lot of work, and it's going to suck until then, and most likely we'll end up keeping him because he's going to be a pain to rehome with his age. But if we find the right home, that would be great. If not, he's just going to stay with me. But my heart breaks for this dog because he doesn't care about anything but being in your lap and sleeping and eating, and he doesn't even play that much like the other dogs do. But and part of him acts like he never left. But I just wanted to introduce y'all to Ace, the dog we got back, and kind of just talk about what's been going on lately with everything and what happens to dogs that we get back. So anyways, say hello to Ace, who's going to be a long-standing member of the channel for a while. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as usual, you guys, we'll see you guys next time in the next video. See you guys later.